Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. I thought today I would do a bit of a sit down chat and a bit of a catch up and life update about everything that's been going on over the past few weeks, because there have been a few changes and updates that have happened. So where do I start? Basically, as quite a few of you may know, the government's putting a lot of money into primary care and they're funding more places for primary care pharmacists in the PCN. So I knew about this and I just was browsing on the NHS website one day and I saw a couple of jobs that in the area, and I thought, you know what, I might just go for it. Because I was doing my clinical diploma at King's College London starting in September, and I thought, you know, it would be a great job to do alongside it because I'd be learning all the clinical skills that I need for it, and I can put it into practice in the meantime with this job. And the couple of jobs that I looked at, they didn't require a diploma or any CPP e-learning because that would all be done on the job, and they didn't require independent prescribers either. So I was like, great, this is a really good opportunity. So yeah, I kind of applied just like, not really like 100%, you know, I definitely want this, but then I got called for interview for the two jobs that I applied for, and so I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see how these go. So the first job that I applied for and interviewed for was a part-time PCN pharmacist role, and it's in a kind of close to me, about 20 miles away maximum, over like 15 surgeries in the area, and I'd be mainly based in 3 anyway. And so yeah, I thought, oh, this would be good because then I could juggle my diploma and doing the work as well, working part-time. So I thought that would be a really good opportunity. So I interviewed for that one first because I hadn't heard back from the other one yet, and they were lovely people. It was like some of the questions I was expecting, and then they did sort of a clinical scenario, which in a way sort of caught me out, and I don't know why. I should have kind of expected it in a clinical pharmacist interview, but it just caught me out. I kind of panicked a little bit, and I think that I didn't answer very well. But anyway, so that happened, and then it was a little while later, or was it a week, maybe just over a week, they said they were going to contact me at the beginning of the week, and I hadn't heard anything, so I was a bit like, oh well, you know, never mind, it doesn't matter. Anyway, later on in the week, I then got a call saying, so the lady phoned me and she said, unfortunately we can't offer you the full PCN role that you applied for, but we really want you on board in the team and we want to try and make a role that works for you. So it might be more project-based, audit-based, sort of the clinical governance side of things. I was like, okay, that sounds quite interesting because I haven't actually worked in sort of clinical governance mainly, so I was like, you know, that might be actually a really interesting aspect of the job that I could focus on, and doing audits and reports and stuff like that, because I did a big audit and report in my hospital placement in King's College no, it was University College London, sorry, when I was doing my pharmacy placements, and that was quite enjoyable. So I was like, yeah, you know what, that would be quite interesting. And then I'd still be working alongside like clinical leads, and they said they'd support me through my clinical diploma. So this was just like off the cuff. There was no like job description at this time, and they said, you know, just write down your ideas. What do you want to do? Like, what hours do you want to work? And we can try and work something out, and we can arrange something. So it was all a bit vague, bit like, okay, right, so I've got to kind of think of something over the weekend and see what happens. In the meantime, then I'd got called for the next interview, which was the following week. So I knew I had this other interview coming up as well. So I was trying to prepare for that, and I felt a bit more prepared for it after the interview that I had with this other place. And then again in the meantime, so like the weekend in between these two interviews, I got an email from King's College London letting me know that they've cancelled the clinical diploma, so I wouldn't be enrolled on it this year or then I'd have to re-enroll. Like they weren't saying that it was deferred, it was just saying that it was cancelled because of coronavirus. But my suspicions also is that less people are doing the clinical diploma and more people are doing the CPPE pathway. So I think there's a bit of both involved in that, but they did use coronavirus as the reason why. Anyway, so where are we? I've got this vague job offer role from a GP practice, like a group of GP practices. King's College London have cancelled my diploma and I'm just waiting for the next interview. So over the weekend I think up a job role that I could do. So just said that I do like audit work and clinical governance work and be involved in the flu season and things like that. And so I wrote that all down in an email, wrote down my hours and stuff and sent that off to the surgery. And so didn't hear back from them for a while, and then I did my other interview. So it was actually a really quick interview with the clinical pharmacist lead, and it was really good. I felt really good talking. I felt like the other interview had sort of made me practice for it, and I felt actually really confident for it. And I didn't actually know it was interview 1 of 2, so it was sort of a get to know me interview, and then he said that he'd ring me to see if I got through to the next round, which would be a bit more clinical with a few more people, etc, etc. And so yeah, lo and behold, about half an hour later, he phoned back and said, yeah, we'd like to interview again next week. So I was like, yeah, that's fine, no problem. So that was that. I was all set for the next interview. And then the other people then get back to my email saying that they haven't, it was like really late on a Friday night, and they were like, oh my goodness, we've only just seen your email. It was in our junk boxes and we haven't seen it. We're so sorry that we haven't seen it. We love your ideas. We'd really like to talk about it. We're gonna have a meeting about it and get back to you. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then the weekend happened, and then I did my second interview for the second job that I applied for, and I was a little bit more nervous. I felt a bit more panicked. They gave me a clinical scenario to go through about 45 minutes before the interview, so I had time to prepare. So like I was going through all the BNF and just looking for things to talk about. And I do think I performed okay in the interview, although I do feel like I was way more nervous, like a bit more panicked and stuff. And yeah, so I was a bit like, not sure about it. But then a couple of days later, the guy phones me up and says, yeah, we still really liked you. We could tell you're a bit more nervous, but that usually happens in the second interview, but we still really like you, so we'd like to offer you the full-time role as PCN pharmacist. So I was like, wow, great, that's really good. I've got a PCN role. That's what I wanted, that's what I applied for. Yes, I'll take. And now knowing that I wasn't doing my clinical diploma, I didn't have to think about the part-time role, and I was like, yes, that is what I want. I'm gonna go for it. Sounds great. And so yeah, so that happened, and I was a bit like, and then so I was like set on this job. I was like, yes, I'm gonna take it. How am I gonna let the other people down? And so the clinical lead GP phones me, and I told him I'd been offered this other job. It's more what I wanted, it's what I applied for, it's the full PCN role. I think it's better for me. I can do my CPPE pathway training, and then going to do my independent prescribers as well. And he was like, hold on a minute, what? He was like, hold on a minute, I'm gonna see what I can do. I want you, and I think I can get you a PCN role, even if but it probably part-time. And I was like, interesting. And I was like, well, tell me what you can do and I will be willing to listen. So he gets back to me the next day and says, the previous day we'd had literally a half an hour chat. He was so nice, he wanted to go through everything, He got the HR lady to call me as well, and we just had a really good chat. Yeah, so then the following day he's emailed people, he's like inquired about things, he's got people wanting to like be my educational lead, and so he is saying like, yeah, we can offer you the full pharmacist PCN role with the full salary, the training, etc, etc. It would be part-time, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 to 5:30. And I was like, okay, right, now I have a big decision to make. And I have mentioned this in previous YouTube videos and on my Instagram as well, that I had this massive decision to make, and I was just so like worried because I have not made good decisions about my employment in the past. I haven't looked into things properly, I haven't done my research. I've just been like, when something's too good, I don't think about that. I think, oh right, this job sounds great. I don't think it sounds too good to be true, and I go for it and it ends up being too good to be true. And so yeah, it's a really tricky decision for me to make because I've got two really great offers on the table, and I just have to like weigh them up, go with my gut, which my gut isn't great anyway, so I probably shouldn't go with my gut. But I just have to like make this huge decision, and so I'm in the process of like doing my ID checks with the job that offered me first, and sending off the new starter forms and stuff, and then I get the other paperwork through, and I'm just like, oh. So ultimately I've decided that I am going to do the part-time PCN role in the surgery network that's closer to me, because I felt like they were much more personal. Like, they talked to me over on the phone for like half an hour. They really tried to get this job for me. They put a lot of effort into it. It is closer to me. It makes my life a little bit easier not having to travel, because the other job could be up to like 40 miles away, so that's double the distance, and so that could add on like an hour and stuff, and I'm really struggling at the moment like with this job where I'm having to travel like over an hour. It's just, I kind of resent it because of the travel, and I get so tired, and I think I don't enjoy it for that reason. So I feel like and also I do want a part-time job, because I feel like I do get, I want flexibility, and I want to be able to still work in the community as well, because I do think that's important, that I know what's happening in the community as well as what's happening in the GP's like practice and stuff in the primary care. Because like, if I'm trying to deal like with a query of an HRT product that is not in stock, and like I can be like, well actually I now know that that's in stock in like Boots or Lloyd's or whatever, and I can be like, right, well I'll ring them up and double check, but I'm pretty sure like I saw that yesterday, so I'm gonna say it's in stock again, that kind of thing, and like what services they run and things like that. So I do think it's important to keep up my skills in the community alongside doing the GP practice, and I also do just like flexibility. I like also going different places, so that's why I like locuming. I like going different places, I like meeting new people, I like doing different things each day. And I know that within the PCN role I would be like the full-time role even, I would be going to different practices, so I wouldn't be stuck in the same place, but I still do feel like I want a bit of variety. And you know, like there is always probably the option in the future to go up to a full-time if I wanted to, if there's more funding, because they were talking about maybe next April there'll be more funding where there could be a full-time role going, but it is whether I want that full-time role as well. And I do want a bit of flexibility in my life, because just suits me a little bit better. So yeah, I am not completely quitting locuming. I will be locuming 2 times a week, and then doing the PCN pharmacist role 3 times a week, which will, I think that would suit me best, and it will reduce my travelling. I've travelled through the little villages where the places are, and they're lovely. And yeah, so I'm really excited, and that should be starting mid-September. So I'm filling in all the paperwork. I've actually sent all the paperwork off this morning, accepted the offer, and then hopefully that gets the ball rolling with the contract. So yeah, and with regards to King's College London, so that's completely cancelled, and I'm going to be starting the CPPE pathway with the GP surgery. So the CPP pathway is like the clinical training you need to work in a GP surgery as a GP pharmacist. So like things to do with like blood test parameters, medicines use reviews, everything like that. And then I will definitely, as soon as possible, want to be getting on to do my independent prescribers, because that is so useful. I think it's probably one of the most useful things I could do, and that will open a lot of doors for me. But with this job, it's somewhere now I want to sort of root myself a bit more. I have been flicking between jobs for like the first 3 years, and I think that's important because it's made me learn what I want, what I don't want from a job. But I think now I do need to settle a bit more in. I need to make my mark somewhere a bit more. So and that's also why I've chosen this job, because I think it's a bit more sustainable for me long term, rather than having to travel so much to the other job. I just don't see that as being sustainable for me. Whereas if I'm only having to drive half an hour to work, I definitely see that as being a more sustainable job over an hour, because I won't resent it. It won't be a chore, and things like that. So yeah, for my future, I do genuinely think I'm making the right decision. I really hope I am. The people seem so lovely, and yeah, I don't want to let them down, and I hope they don't let me down as well, because they've taken a risk with me. I feel like they have taken a risk with me, and in a way I feel like I'm taking a risk with them because they didn't initially offer it to me, but then they are now. So we will see what happens. But yeah, I actually need to tell the other company that I'm not going with them, which I haven't done yet. I need to send that email today or make that phone call. I'm really putting it off because it's really making me a bit anxious, but it's something I need to do. And when you get anxious about something, you should actually do it. You shouldn't just like put it off like I am doing. So that's a point to learn. If you get anxiety, do the job that you need to do rather than putting it off like me. So yeah, I guess that is my update at the moment. I will still be doing like weeks in the life, because I'll still be like locuming plus doing this PCN role, and I'll be going to like 3 different surgeries anyway, so it's kind of like, yeah, it'll be quite interesting, I think. And so I will be taking you on my new journey, my new chapter, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, if you've got any questions, please like leave them in the comment box below. Also, I could like do a bit of a Q&A at some point, Q&A about locuming, Q&A about interview. That might be something that I do. Oh dear, the door is starting to bang. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed this little life update. I will catch you soon. Bye.